If you ask your child a question, do they repeat it back? Or in the middle of dinner, do they suddenly burst out saying, jumping in the muddy puddles? If you're wondering why your child is repeating speech like this, remember you are not alone. This phenomena is called echolalia. And your child is not just repeating to be silly or funny or just randomly. There is meaning behind echolalia. Echolalia may be a sign that your child might be a Gestalt learner. Gestalt learner means that your child's brain works differently. How they understand language, how they process, and how they learn looks different to a neurotypical child. It's very important for you to know as a parent, because only when you know how your child learns can you support them in the right way. Today we are going to talk about what is echolalia and mainly how you can help your child who has echolalia or who is a Gestalt learner. Echolalia is basically repeating speech that is heard, and the things that they repeat can be of varying length. They could just be repeating words from videos they heard, like numbers, alphabets, birds, animals, etc. Or they could also be repeating dialogues or even complete dialogue between two people that they would talk for two people, like what one person says and what the other person says. So the echolalia can be word level or even dialogue level. And many children start off with repeating rhymes. So that is also a sign of echolalia or your child being a Gestalt learner. Echolalia can also be immediately that they would repeat, or that they would repeat it later on at another day or even months later. So this is like immediate echolalia and delayed echolalia. But parents, here's something I really need you to know. When your child says wheels on the bus go round and round when they are spinning, this is not random. It's your child saying, I'm excited, I love to sing. Or even if they are looking at you while they are saying that, it means come, let's connect. Let's talk about the most important thing. Why do children do this type of speech? Why is this a stage in many Gestalt learners? You have to think of it like a library. So every time you stack the library with books, think of it like your child is getting new words, new sentences, new phrases, new dialogue. Each of them is one book. So they have an empty library right now. And every time they remember a word or a phrase or a sentence, they are stacking their library with language. So they are building their language in a very different way. And when they need to use it, they will just take the book that they need to talk. Before making this video, I asked on Instagram that I'm going to talk about this topic. Do you have any questions? And one of the parents asked me this. And even in my parent coaching, many parents ask me this. I understand it's important for them, but how do we control it? How do we stop it? So I really want you to understand this, that they are doing echolalia because it's the only language they have right now. Your child's language is not completely developed yet. Right now, they have some grammar, they have some sentences, some words, and they are working with limited resources. And do we really want to stop their limited resource supply? I don't think so. We want to build the resources. We want to bring variety. We want to bring different length of speech so that they have so much resources. Now they can pick and choose how they want to talk. That happens in the later stages of their development. This is why actually we created Speakaroo, which is a speech therapy game created by me. I made it specifically for Gestalt learners because in the game you have sentences and phrases that are functional that you can teach your child. So they are going through different daily life scenarios and learning how to talk in each situation. So think of echolalia as they are borrowing language for the time being, so that they can express what's really going on for them. Remember parents, echolalia is not a glitch, it's not an error, it's not meaningless, and it's not random. It has meaning, it is valuable for your child, it's significant, it has deep meaning that we need to think and we need to dig and find out. And for many autistic children or Gestalt learners, this is the best way they can communicate right now. You can also think of echolalia like it's a revision test. or a mock interview, before they are ready to talk in complete grammar and complete sentences, and the goal is self-generated speech, before they get there, this is like an revision exam. They are trying out language, they are seeing how it feels in their mouth, they are enjoying the sound of their speech, they are seeing what is the effect of me saying this, is this useful for me? So please don't stop your child from doing echolalia. Try to understand them and try to dig deep and find the meaning. What is my child trying to tell? If you ask me why is your child having echolalia, there are many reasons. One, it is one of their stages of natural language acquisition. This is a stage they have to go through. It could be to even self-soothe. So here I've noticed sometimes children, when they are crying, they will say don't cry, but they will still cry, or they will sing their favorite song while they are crying. In this place, echolalia is actually used to self-soothe. Echolalia also serves all of the other communicative functions, like they are using echolalia to request for something. They are using it to say, no, stop that, I don't like it. Bluey doesn't like it. And many times, echolalia is them trying to connect with you, trying to talk to you. And how valuable is that for an autistic child's parent? Example, instead of saying, I'm sleepy and I want to sleep, a child might be saying, time to sleep, George. This is their way of conveying to you that I am tired. And as a parent, I really want you to understand the function of echolalia and try to understand the meaning behind what your child is saying and support them. Let's come to that. So if you are like, okay Priyanka, I know my child is having echolalia and they are a Gestalt learner, what do I do as a parent? You've already done one of the most important things, which is to not stop your child's echolalia, but try to understand it and accept it. Now, once you're there, the most important thing to do is to stop asking questions and start giving the language that they need to talk. Let me explain this. Let's say it's evening and snack time. You know that your child loves to eat banana, but they don't like walnut. So instead of going to your child and asking them, do you want banana or walnut? Instead, what you will do is you will tell your child, I want banana, I'm hungry. And then you will give the banana to them. Think of it like this. You already know what your child wants. So instead of asking them the question, give them the language that they need to ask for what they want. And for a child who has echolalia, they are just going to repeat your speech. So when you ask them a question, you're just emphasizing the point that they don't know the answer. So instead, teach your child the answer. Teach them how to answer that question. So you are giving your child language. You are actually helping them learn language. Now this technique goes by many names. We can call it modeling, we can call it situational modeling, recasting, focus stimulation, so many names. But it boils down to this. You have to give your child the language or the speech or the utterance that they have to talk instead of asking them the question. This works because remember the library analogy. We already talked about how a child who's a Gestalt learner learns differently, because of which they are picking up language from the heard speech. Now, the heard speech is what they are learning. So, we are going to tailor what they hear so that they learn efficiently. And in the library analogy, if you notice, we said they are going to build their books or their repertoire of sentences and phrases that they are learning. So if you ask a question, you are actually taking away that learning opportunity. But if you give them the statement of what to say, you are adding to the library. Now I want to know, what was the last thing that your child said and you thought this is so out of the ordinary? But now after listening to me, you thought, then maybe there's a reason behind it. So what was your child's last Gestalt phrase?